Yo, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? It's Josh back with another video, and today I wanted to cover home labs. And shout out to everybody that's here. I appreciate you guys coming through, you know what I'm saying, for this conversation. But mainly, I'll just be covering, um, kind of like the importance of actually setting up a home lab and why I think it's important for you guys to do in order to help you get better experience and all that stuff while trying to navigate the IT field. So, shout out to a couple people I see coming through. I appreciate you guys. Go on, hit that like button. You know, if you're new here, go on and subscribe. I definitely appreciate all you guys coming through. You know what I'm saying? I see we got 5 people. Go on, hit that like button if you can. Casual Economist, what's up, bro? Salute to you. Calvin Henderson, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? How you doing? He says greetings and salutations. Yeah, greetings to you as well, bro. So, we're gonna go on and get into it. So I basically got 5 points that I wanted to kind of cover when it comes to home labs. You know what I'm saying? And the first one is mainly dealing with the hands-on learning. Um, Most people, uh, and maybe I can go off of my anecdotal experience, but when I was first learning, first getting into the IT field, hands-on experience was the best for me. Like I started off, I went to a one of those almost kind of like scam type schools. I went to Remington College, um, and they basically overcharged for the education. I got an associate's degree after that or whatever. But during that actual school, you know, while going to that school, I got a lot of hands-on experience. Like one of the things they, you know, heavily focused on, especially once we got out of the basic class, like basic IT classes, like what's a network, you know, how computers actually function, you know, all that type of stuff. Well, we started going into server management, setting up servers, as well as like cloning hard drives, doing different things, you know, when it came to, managing servers, setting up setting up Active Directory, setting up a domain, understanding how it talks, you know, setting up a forest, you know, creating accounts and all that stuff to manage systems. Well, by doing a lot of this, you know what I'm saying, I was able to retain the information a whole lot better versus just reading books, you know what I'm saying, and basically just taking tests and all that stuff. The hands-on experience was a whole lot better for me, you know what I'm saying, and based on a lot of people I've met, a lot of times that hands-on experience has helped them, you know what I'm saying. And so that's one of the benefits of creating that home lab. And that's why I recommend you guys actually do that. And then also, and sorry about that, uh, I got like little stomach issues today, but I still wanted to get this information out. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people, um, like for me to do live streams every weekend. So I definitely wanted to get this out, man. You know what I'm saying? Lloyd, he says, "What's up, man? What's up, bro? How you doing, man?" See, happy Saturday, family. Open the YouTube and seeing you was live, so jumped in versus catching the replay. Yeah, appreciate you coming through, man. Yeah, so like I said, man, just setting up that home lab and let me show you guys. That was one thing I was gonna bring up. I was just gonna show you guys like one of my labs that I have at the house, and actually we'll get into that a little bit later, showing you guys mine, because there's plenty of applications out there that allow you to do it. You can even do things in the cloud, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that kind of goes into my second point, which is the flexibility, you know what I'm saying. A home lab, it basically gives you the freedom to experiment. You can't do that on a network at a job, you know what I'm saying. They yeah, I mean, you can't play around with these systems because a lot of times they're in production, you know what I'm saying. You can't test out new technologies because um, most companies, they won't allow you to put new technologies on their network. It has to be vetted, you know what I'm saying. You can't just like you know how Chat GPT just came out a while back. Everybody's using this AI stuff and all that. Um, some companies or some organizations don't allow you to, start bringing in, new technologies right off the bat as soon as it comes out and available to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like certain sites will be blocked depending on the organization. You know what I'm saying? Certain tools are blocked. You're saying you can't incorporate stuff. It has to go through a vetting process. So with having that home lab, you know what I'm saying, it gives you that flexibility to try out new stuff. Like for instance, a while back, and let me give you guys an example. A while back, I was looking into Ansible. I was trying to understand how to use Ansible. You know what I'm saying? If you guys have never heard of Ansible, actually, let's bring up bring up Ansible right fast. Let's go to U2. Reject all. There we go. All right, cool. So, just showing you guys, this is the website for Ansible. All right, and just give me 1 second, guys. Um, wasn't planning on bringing this up, but yeah, here we go. So, Ansible, and one cool thing about Ansible, they have an Ansible Fest at Red Hat Summit this year in Boston, May 23rd to the 25th. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna cover a lot of Ansible. But anyway, this is Ansible. This is the documentation for Ansible, but essentially it's a automation tool or whatever. And so months before, um, I would say about a year ago, when I first started looking into Ansible, I did some videos on my channel about Ansible, just showing people how to set it up. Set up a couple devices, and then you can manage them from a Ansible like server, and you can push out commands and all that stuff to the different systems using what they call playbooks or whatever. And so my whole purpose for bringing this up was, um, I didn't start seeing that in the environment. It had came out. It had been out for, months or close to a year or so before I actually started seeing it in the environment that I was working in. People started using Ansible, you know what I'm saying? Because it went through a vetting process of people being able to use this software on the Linux systems that are around. You know what I'm saying? And then Ansible also works with, Cisco equipment. You know, you can manage a lot of different devices using Ansible. You just gotta have that Ansible main server, and then you got all your devices out there or nodes out there that you could push commands to. It's an automated way of keeping systems up to date. And um, so anyway, um, my whole point for saying that is I was able to set up a whole Ansible environment at the house. You know what I'm saying? I set up, my different nodes, set up the main server, started creating my own playbooks and pushing out all this stuff to these different nodes on my network or whatever. You can't do that at a live environment or a production environment because you could mess some up. You know what I'm saying? And so this is a great way to get the experience, and that's why I meant, flexibility. By having that home lab, you have the flexibility to set a lot of this stuff up, in your own test environment, manage it, play around with it, and then get the experience from it. You know what I'm saying? So that's and then that kind of rolls into my next point that I wanted to cover, which is getting that real world experience. You can set up a network similar to what you see at your job. You know what I'm saying? And you can get that real world experience. You may not be able to set up the servers exactly like they are at work, like as far as the patching and all that stuff, or what level it's on, as far as the patching, but you can get that real world experience as well by setting up that home lab. you know it can help you gain practical experience that is directly applicable to real world scenarios. So That's one of those things I wanted to kind of point out. You know what I'm saying? And I see a couple more people coming in the chat. Shout out to all you guys. Professor Black Ops in the building, my guy. What's up, bro? Um, yeah, man, we gonna we talking about just the benefits of creating a home lab. I'm just going through a couple points. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, bro. Yeah, and learning YAML. And YAML, one thing, Calvin, YAML is, used in a lot of applications now, a lot of these modern applications. So learning the YAML programming language, is a benefit as well. And that's some more of that real world experience. You know what I'm saying? You're starting to see that in a lot more tools out there that are being used in production environments. So yeah, definitely. I agree. Let me see. Um, Casual economist says, "Yeah, I got to make a home lab." Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm gonna do a little later on. I'm show you guys a way to set up a home lab. There are multiple ways. You can set up. You can do everything in the cloud. You don't even need to have any equipment at the house. You know what I'm saying? But you could do it all in the cloud. Let me see. Just trying to make sure I cover everybody I just saw speaking. Yeah, shout out to you guys. Go and hit that like button if you just got here. Definitely appreciate you guys coming through. Um, so cost effective. This is the next point I wanted to make when it comes to building your own home lab. Now, if you got spare computers around, you know what I'm saying. When you go through this training, a lot of times they're just showing it to you. Like when you pay for this training, you know what I'm saying. A lot of times they just showing it to you. They'll give you examples or whatever in a lot of this training. Well, building out that home lab, you can follow along using your own stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you got virtual machines, um, uh, set up using VirtualBox or Proxmox server or VMware, you know what I'm saying? You can set up your own little thing and it's cost effective because a lot of these applications are free. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And then also another point I want to hit by cost effective is you don't even need to like go to the expensive training. You don't even have to attend. A lot of these courses they cause you to attend. You can buy the book for the training. You know what I'm saying? Set up your own environment because a lot of times they give you the full breakdown of what all you need to set up in order to go through the course and do the course on your own. So they'll make it a whole lot cost effective. And that's one of the points I wanted to, point out. You know what I'm saying? You could get you a, old system, you know what I'm saying? Install whatever they want because it could be, I don't know, MySQL class, it could be whatever. Just set up that environment, you know what I'm saying? Follow along in the book and go through the training. That's one of the benefits of having a home lab at the house, you know what I'm saying? And then also, like one of the last major points to this, and hold on, let me read comments. Let me see. Calvin Henderson, he says the horror part about setting up a home lab is being admin of the systems in said network home lab. Ansible can help keep things up to date and secure. Yes, yes. And that's what made me bring that up as an example. If you got like a whole bunch of systems, which I have a whole bunch of systems, I posted I don't know, a picture on my community tab that Proxmox finally added the dork theme, on their platform. Like the main screen that you use to manage everything. They put a dork theme on there, so I was excited about that. But if you look on the image, if you check out that image, man, actually let me just pull it up so you guys can see. But if you look at that image, and when I show you my price mics, it's not like that now because I cleaned up a lot of it, but I still have like a lot of my machines or my ISOs out there, so I could recreate them if I need to, or I can just download a new one. But let me switch back over so you guys can see what I'm saying. But yeah, here we go. So this is the post I put up the other day, or like 2 weeks ago. But you see all them servers right there. I know that it's hard to see, but that's like think I had like 30 some virtual machines on here running on this server. So I had a whole bunch of systems set up, you know what I'm saying, on here. So I could show people, I don't know, so I could do tutorials and all kind of stuff with those virtual machines. And I just leave them on there. But my whole point for bringing that up is when you got a home network, you know, you got systems set up for different purposes. You know what I'm saying? And so if you got, I don't know, 10 Linux servers that are in a Linux environment that you know setting up, is easy to manage them using Ansible. You know what I'm saying? Like you can run all your updates, boom, off of one server. You can push out a playbook, you know, and it'll push out the updates to that one to all them servers from that one server. You know what I'm saying? So that's one way to keep up on your updates and everything. One thing is gonna bog down your network a little bit unless you have like a DNS server or something, a caching server. Like when you run one, it'll pull all the packages locally on your local network. And if you don't have like a good, I don't know, good plan, or you only have which ISP, you only have a certain amount of gigs a month or something like that, then that may mess you up, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're running a whole bunch of systems like this. But um I recommend setting up a DNS server though, because it'll cache a lot of the stuff for you. So if you have a lot of Debian servers, then those packages will get cached on your DNS caching server. So you're not downloading it from the web. You know what I'm saying? It's all local at that point. So all your systems, most of those packages are going to be the same if they are Debian based or something like that, or Orch based. If you got a couple Orch based, you know, once one of them is done, it's going to pull things from the, you know, the caching server. But bam, you could just run through all your updates, you know, from one main system that manages Ansible server that manages all your other servers. So yeah, that's super dope. That's something you could do, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to it. But like I was saying, man, the professional development, you know, that comes with this, you know what I'm saying, it'll help you stay up to date, you know, with new technologies and trends in the field. You can use it to experiment on like emerging technologies that are coming out, you know what I'm saying, and that'll allow you to develop skills and be ahead of the curve, especially when it comes to like, you know, other you know, competing with all these people that are getting into the tech field. You know what I'm saying? You can compete better because you on top of it. You know what I'm saying? You stand up with the trends. So that's definitely a benefit. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I said earlier, and let me shout out a couple people. I see people coming through. I get into a lot of this stuff, man. I keep keep running off, you know, at the mouth. But I get excited about it. Let me say that. But AB Media, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Marcus B, my man Joe W, what's up, bro? Good to see you. That's the OG. Good to see you, bro. Marcus B says when you finally get a home lab set up, you can feel the POA. What is the POA, man? I'll be tripping out about some of these acronyms. Let me see what that is, man. POA. Man, I'm so I'm so bad with some of these acronyms, bro. They just come out so much so fast. What does that mean, man? POA. Go there and explain it in the chat, bro. I can't even find it searching. What does that mean? Something dealing with Minecraft? I see something dealing with Minecraft. Hold on. Power, usually personal power. What? Okay, yeah, you feel the power. I guess that's what you said. Oh, hey, yeah, I'm tripping. Power. Thanks for correcting me, guys. I feel I feel stupid not knowing that. Yeah, feel the power. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Virtual machines are a gift from heaven. Yes, they are. I definitely agree with you. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I figured out you could put multiple machines on one machine, I was like, dang, that's dope. Let me see if I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I think I started out with VMware or whatever. But one thing I thought was super important to cover, and that's the experience you gain from it. You know, you can put this stuff on your resume. And Professor Black Ops, if you're not busy, I'm gonna invite you on because I want to hear your thoughts as well. I want you to I'm gonna send you an email right fast because I definitely want to hear your thoughts as well on this topic. And actually, I just dropped the link down in the chat, and you can hop up. Let me create a quick meeting. I definitely want you to come up and speak to this if you got time. And one other thing I was gonna talk about, there was a couple people that signed up for appointments. This week was like super crazy busy. I do these things, around my job, around, all my family and all that stuff. So I apologize for missing. It was one this week or one on the 7th, which was Friday. I missed this one. So I don't know if you want me to say your name, but I think Anthony, that's one person. Anthony S. I'm not going to say your full name. So Anthony S., go on and reschedule with me, man. And I'll make sure I'm there. Yeah, it was just super busy this week. And then who else? It was someone else. Let me go back. Someone else. Jelena. Yeah. So, yeah, Jelena. No, that was no. I made that one. I made that one. My bad. Um, I got that one. I thought it was another one. Maybe not. Maybe not. But Anthony, go down and schedule another one, bro, if you can, for the next time you're available. If you're here in the chat, go down and schedule another one, man. And then we can link up and I could do, a little mentoring if I can, I apologize for missing it, but hold on. Let's pull up the meets right fast so I can holler at my man. Let's see, create a meeting. See, new meeting. And I drop the link down in the chat. That way you guys can. That way if anybody wants to come up, you can, bro. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about this, but it's specifically about HomeLab. Um, so if you want to come up, man, let me see, LXD versus VM. So, all right, LXDs, or LXCs, LXD, um, it uses. All right, with LXDs, and I did a video on LXD, LXC, showing people how to set up a lab. I think it's Ubuntu thing. And let me bring this up so I make sure I don't forget if PBO comes up. But go down and come up if you can, PBO. And man, you can hear my laptop spinning up, man. I mean my server spinning, my computer spinning up. 1 second. Let me get back to the live thing. So LXCs, LXDs, think they use the current kernel in order to. It's kind of like it's basically containers. And actually, let's pull it up right fast. But at PBO, if you can come through, bro, go down and come through, man. That's the link to it, bro. I appreciate you coming through. But let's get to that right fast. Let's get to these LXCs. I want to show you because I did a video on it a while back. Let's go back to my channel. And I'll bring it up right fast so you guys can see. All right, so see LXD. Yeah, getting started with Linux containers. And this was about 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. I might do a video on it again. Oh yeah, look at the young KeepItTechie right of me. No, I'm just but nah man, LXDs, they use more of the it's kind of like they basically containers at the end of the day. It's containers, but I think it's based on Ubuntu. I think it's only used on Ubuntu or something like that. I think so. I can't remember. LXD, LXCs, next generation of system containers and virtual machine manager. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. It's different from virtual machines because the virtual machine, has it set up basically everything. It has set up the kernel, everything for the operating system to function. You know what I'm saying? The containers use the kernel, the same kernel that's being used for the operating system that's running. So if you got a Ubuntu server set up and you set up those LXCs, it's gonna use that. It's gonna use that that same what you call it, that same kernel and everything. It's a system level uh, virtual machine, so to speak. That's based on my uh, experience playing around with it and learning it and reading the documentation. But that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? But like with most of these virtual environments, you can, well, if you got like Proxmox, I know for sure you can set up those containers. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, my bad. There we go. There we go. I got you. Hold on, I gotta put on my headphones right fast. What's up, PBO? What's happening? Let me make sure everybody can hear you. Let me go and bring that in too. But yeah, let me say this one point right fast, PBO, and then I'll let you chime in as well. Um, because I wanted to cover this before you came on, but let me go on and cover it now. But basically, my whole point for saying this is my whole point for showing you guys this. You can gain a lot of experience from building and working with your home lab. You know what I'm saying? And you can add that to your resume, especially if you're new to the career, you're trying to get into it. That can be that tech experience. I know I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, um, how can I get a job if they want experience and I ain't got none?" Well, this is a way. It's not 100%, you know what I'm saying, but this is a way to get some of that experience, that hands-on experience, and you can get a deep understanding of the technical concepts, setting up a home lab. You know what I'm saying? And you can also demonstrate your abilities. And that's like working dependently or independently, by solving those complex problems at your house. You can demonstrate a lot of that stuff, and this will, help you with securing a job in tech. But let me go down and fix this right fast, PBO. I definitely want to let me try to get it popping right fast with the interview style setup that I normally have. 1 second. But everybody can hear you, so if you want to, speak while I get it straight.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. No, you're 100% right. I got one of my jobs is I had a home lab where I was setting up Java connecting to Oracle using JDBC connectors, and so I kind of figured that out. Then my job actually went to it, and like you said, I had experience from setting it up on my home lab and failing over with JDBC, and that's really before failover became super popular. So all that was built inside Oracle and the JDBC drivers. Now you can fail over, in Azure and AWS, but used to do that off of JDBC drivers, and I learned all that from my home network.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 3 small Dell servers, and I set up a 3-tier network. I had a little baby router, and I just had it in the bedroom, and like you said, send it all up, and that's really how I learned routing and just kind of like you said, figuring all that stuff out and just getting stuck. And that's before Google, man. I had to buy real books. so,
Yeah.
but like you said, that's how you really learned. And you really have hands-on experience. And then when you're at work, you can talk about the things you've done and help people solve problems. A lot of problems you solved because you had to solve it on your home network. So
Yep.
definitely a vibe. And like you said, then you can put it on your resume. And too, a lot of times when you work it, you kind of know where your job is trying to go with new technology too. They say, well, we're thinking about purchasing this, or we setting a proof of concept up. So you can already be doing that proof of concept at your house before they even spin it up at your job. So stay ahead of the game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but is there anything else you wanted to say about any of the things I kind of covered?
The only thing is, like you said, is you set up more physical. And right when we were talking, I was actually spinning up on AWS. So I don't like buying hardware or anything. But I think a lot of times, depending on your job, touching physical hardware is cool. But for me, doing those labs helped me get more comfortable in the cloud. You're talking about Ansible. That's just cloud formation. You can spin up 2 or 3 servers and make sure you can update those automatically. Use System Manager, updating your OS. So now you're doing cloud and you're working on that automation piece with your home lab, right? Because everything's going automation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I don't know. I really enjoyed, playing around with Ansible. It was super dope. Just I don't know, just playing around with it. It's a super dope way of, I don't know, setting up containers.
Yeah, yeah, I'm doing the same thing. But like you said, it's Ansible, Terraform, Cloud Formation. There's a few products out there, but like you said, that whole automation you got to get comfortable with. And like you said, right now, I'm starting to finally get with Cloud Formation and Docker and setting it up and getting comfortable with containers.
Hmm.
Because like I said, I think that's the next level. Docker, Kubernetes, that whole node and pushing out. Because when you big companies, they can have a couple hundred nodes. So you got to figure out, you
Hmm.
can't do that manually. So you got to figure out how to get that automation piece working.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Now, speaking of cloud though, and I apologize, I'm still trying to get you on the screen, man, and it
It's
is,
fine. It's fine.
uh,
As long as they can hear me, we good. We can roll it. It's all good.
yeah, because I haven't done it in a while, or it's messed up for some reason. But anyway, um, one of the um one of the reasons I wanted to bring you up, because of, I know you do a lot of stuff in AWS, and can you speak more to people setting up, and I know you kind of touched on it, but can you
Yeah.
can, can you speak on, I mean, the benefits of actually, setting it
Oh
up
yeah.
in the cloud that way?
Oh yeah. Yeah. One of the main benefits is you get hand-on experience. Everybody's going to the cloud that's hybrid or something. You setting your home lab up. And two is usually I do it for $3 or $4 a day. So
Mm-hmm.
you can so the benefit is like you said, get hands-on experience. But like you said, I try to set up a learning track. These are the things I need to learn. These are the things I need to get comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Containers are really at the top because most people are doing containers or they doing serverless. So you got to figure out or a mix of those two. Then AWS, like they said, they have their automation, which is cloud formation and system manager. And two is, and you talked about, and Women in Linux talking about, most companies are going to be multi-cloud, I think, in the next 5 years. Because some people like the Java part of AWS. Everybody likes O365 and Azure. Oracle
Mm-hmm.
got a piece of that Jedi contract, so they doing so because they split what was it 9 billion got split among four companies.
Yeah,
So I think those
yeah.
four companies are gonna grow. So you need to go and get your AWS, your Azure, Google, and follow up with a little Oracle, Rackspace, Salesforce. So everybody's gonna have a combination of those. So you need to be able to do multi-cloud stuff.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree. Cause yeah, you're right. It's a lot. I mean, Amazon came in the game first, you know what I'm saying? And everybody's playing catch up, you know what I'm saying? But they are catching up.
Well, what Amazon did is they got too greedy, so they actually started getting other business. So they buy
Hmm.
Whole Foods. So Kroger's and AWS, they're like, we're not gonna fund you when you fund Whole Food. We're gonna go to Azure. They bought Prime. Netflix pays them some crazy
Oh
amount every
yeah,
month.
they
They
do.
bought Prime. So they in all these business. So a lot of their people are like, dude, we ain't gonna pay you and compete against you. So a lot of
Hmm.
those people are going over to Azure. Because Azure, people don't realize is they got a nice Linux structure.
Yeah, yeah.
They do a ton of Linux on Azure. It's just not Windows,
Hmm.
right? So I think Microsoft's going to be right behind them. I think Google's going to be third, and I think there's going to be a ton of like that third tier
Yeah.
players with Oracle,
Hmm.
Salesforce, Rackspace. There's going to be like certain clouds that specialize in health or
Yeah.
construction. They're gonna have their own special, and everybody's gonna link their clouds together. So, and
Hmm.
like we just talked about multi-cloud, so you need to get comfortable in multi-cloud. So that's Terraform and Ansible's usually good with multi-cloud, where cloud formation is really just for AWS. It's got YAML, so but once you master it, you can learn other stuff. But
Oh yeah.
but they're uh, cloud formation is really just an AWS product. It's not multi-cloud. So
Yeah, and that's one thing I like about Ansible. Well, as far as the YAML programming language, because it's being used in a lot of different, applications and programs, especially when it comes to automation and all that. Networking, it uses like a YAML file. I know on Linux
mm-hmm.
servers it uses
Mm-hmm.
YAML for a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
configuration files and stuff like that. And once you understand it, you're right. I mean, it could be, used around across the board when it comes to different applications that are using it. Yep.
Yeah, and then once you get multi-cloud, you use Ansible or Terraform. You can say, spin this piece up in AWS, spin this piece up in Azure, spin this other piece up in Google. And you can try and use the strength of each one of those clouds and link them together.
Yeah, and so cloud formation is essentially, and I'm not too familiar with it because I don't use it.
Mhm.
It's essentially for like infrastructure
Yeah,
as a
you
as
put
a service or cloud.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
just like closer to Terraform. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you put your YAML file up and it builds your infrastructure.
Okay.
Because a lot of times is I work
It's
for
essentially
DoD.
scripting.
Yep, that's all it is.
Yeah.
But it's for infrastructure. Because a lot of times, when you spend some up in infrastructure, they want you to do a test. We call it model office. Each development team want their version of that. So you need to make it consistent. So once you get it spun up in cloud formation, you can just say go to this region and spin it up, or spin it
Mm-hmm.
up under this user. And so now it's consistent. If you try to do it by hand, you're gonna mess it up.
Oh
So
yeah.
so yeah, so it's basically just a scripted file for you to do the large infrastructure with. So I'm
Okay.
gonna spin up this many Amazon Linux 2 server. This is how my networking gonna look. This is where my load balancers are gonna be. I'm gonna pass in these keys to create this database. This is gonna be the password. I'm keeping that in secrets managers so you can't see, but you can build out an infrastructure. So once you test it, you can just keep spinning up environment after environment.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. That's like what this company I've been working with recently, Linode. I don't know if you heard of them, but they um they they basically sell. I mean, it's a cloud platform. They basically sell, you know, you know, hosting service or cloud
Mhm.
service basically. And in the back end of their system, they have this. I can't remember what they called it exactly, and actually, I'm pulling it up just so I can make sure I say the right thing. But what is it called? Stack scripts, I
Yep,
believe. They got a.
they got
Mm-hmm.
no. Keep going, keep going.
Well, they basically they allow people to write scripts for they platform community stack scripts. They was trying to get me to do something, and I'm working on one for some of the servers I've done or built for them. Um, that are it's like easy to deploy. You just deploy it
Mhm.
to a Linode and you good to go.
Yeah, that's kind of what cloud formation in AWS. So a lot of the big companies, when you go out there, 'cause, you can go on their service and you can purchase stuff that are
Mm-hmm.
pre-built. So a lot of times when you pre-build it, it's cloud formation. So they
Okay.
give you cloud formation, you point at a region, you hit a button, it's just gonna build it for you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you don't have to manually build it. And in there, it might prompt you for a couple passwords. It's just gonna build it
Mm-hmm.
for you. So, like you said, so you don't have to manually build it anymore. So they say here's the cloud formation scripts, and once again, it's going to build your whole infrastructure. And two, ask you questions: do you want to use 3 data centers for failover? 2, what region you want to enter? And prompt you for like 4 or 5 questions, and it's just going to build it. The cool thing about that is you don't have to worry because it's best to breed, right? So they're going to say if it's medium, you get this big a server, you get this big of a web server and app server. If you're large, right? So you just put a couple things and it's going to build it best of breed for that typical size and type of company.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and just to show people what I was talking about with that, um, actually, let me bring it up on the. I was trying to fix this as well. Look like all my stuff is messed up, but yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like I'm logged into my. This is the node right here, and they have all these stack scripts in here. You can create your own scripts, but they got community stack scripts that'll go. It'll go in. You can create whatever you're looking for, like Squid proxy,
Yeah.
server, um, cPanel. You can set up a cPanel. I think I seen
Mhm.
Ansible on here, and this was done by Network Chuck. So it's
Oh,
crazy.
that's
Yeah,
cool. But
yeah,
that's a lot of things when you look behind the scenes, people be putting their scripts on the top of other people's scripts to make
yeah.
them easier. So when you look behind the scene, it could be Ansible, Terraform, or sometimes depending on what cloud you use that cloud's preferred scripting language.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Azure got one. Like I said, I know AWS stuff. Everybody got their preferred scripting language. So when you pick a certain cloud, that script is just running the other script behind the scenes for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. So, well, that's all I really wanted to do today, man, was just cover that, like the importance of it. And one other thing I wanted to kind of show people, well, I showed people that image, but I was just going to probably walk through a little bit of setting up something, but it ain't.
No, I feel you do something real quick. There's about 5 or 6 questions at the bottom of the chat. Grab them real quick.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm see, and that's what happened last time. I think somebody got upset with me or something. I guess because I didn't have it on live chat.
It's all good. I had to time them out. Like you said, I very rarely but your wife timed them out right after I timed them out. She was you know, people got to understand, man. It's hard. People don't know when you do this stuff. It's a lot. You got to look at the chat, then this, then you get a super chat, and you try to look stuff. It's a lot of stuff going on, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's super hard. It's not easy, you know what I'm saying? So let me see. Did you see something you wanted to respond to?
I grabbed them. Shout out to Calvin Henderson. Shout out. He was talking about containers or lightweight VMs. I think containers are the future. A lot of people treat them like scripts. You could pre-build all your servers and stuff in a container. Then you really don't have to worry about the infrastructure. You just put the container out there.
Yeah.
You don't really have to rebuild and stuff. So the container's pre-built. A lot of people like to do cloud formations because you can kind of tweak it, but a lot of people do containers. Shout out to Data Bunny. Like I said, I'm trying to grow my AWS skills. Cloud formation. I try to do everything AWS best practices, and that's their build. Shout out to Casual Economist. Give me a salute. Marcus, shout out. Microsoft partnership with OpenAI is huge. True, because OpenAI was really running out of money and they was really running out of servers. They were having problems spinning up. They were delaying. So they get that whole infrastructure. And two is when Microsoft spend $10 billion, they're going to make sure you got right.
Yep. Yeah. Let me hit Calvin Henderson again. He, cannot type much, but containers or lightweight VMs. And well, never mind. You kind of already explained it. Never mind. I was just gonna say, I can't remember what I was gonna say, but go ahead. Don't worry about it.
You good? You good? I follow your lead. Shout out to AB Media. I think YAML's one of the top scripting services. A lot of services use YAML. So for me, I think that's going to be my scripting language. Of course, in the cloud is YAML. Mm-hmm. I'm an old Linux Unix guy, so I still do Corn Shell. If I'm doing something specifically on a Linux box, I still do Corn because you can pick Corn, C, or Bash. So I'm still a Corn guy. I need that, but Mark's man, glad. I think not the future. Everybody's using artificial intelligence and machine learning. Mm-hmm. A lot of, especially from an AWS perspective, a lot of their services has machine learning in there. They have Copilot, that's Azure's. They have a couple other ones where they'll look through your logs and help you build the proper service. So artificial intelligence and machine learning are in a ton of people's stuff.
Now let me ask you this, PBO. So have you checked out Board, Google's AI? Have you signed up for it?
No, okay. I have not, man. I'm old. I try to pick one thing and focus.
I'm the same way.
No. So for me, I think it's positive and negatives. I think a lot of people jump to the shiny, spinniest object. So people jump. So I try to say, this is the thing I'm going to focus on. I'm going to get decent with this before I jump something else, right? Mm-hmm. That's me being old. I think younger people, they could do that, move around, a lot of stuff. When I try to pick a technology, I really try to pick it with a purpose of what I'm going to learn with it. So now I saw Bart out there. I'm like, dude, I'm barely doing ChatGPT. But now, shout out. I'm going to do some videos. I'm sure we're going to link up. I got it doing some GRC. I had it writing a little code. So I'm trying to do some different things from a cybersecurity stuff.
And I definitely want to get with you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you would.
No, I was just
Mm-hmm. Gabe had it asking him security questions, so I got to catch up with Gabe and security. But now ChatGPT has so many different features. I'm actually doing a security review because they actually had a cyber spillage inside
Okay.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, I
Long
heard
story
about that.
short, yeah, when you was some other people could see your searches, which
Yeah.
if you're a company, you're doing special stuff. And that's why I tell people ChatGPT is the future, but it's about 5 or 6 years apart because you cannot put corporate data in there with it having spillage, and
Not
you
at
don't
all.
really know the security behind it, and
Yep.
it hasn't been vetted from security. Now, I think it's a future. I think people need to get on board and cut up, but I don't think it's going to be 2 years from now. It's going to take 30 million jobs out either. Go ahead and chime in on that, man.
Nah, you good. And then also with, I mean, most companies probably not. I mean, I don't know what companies are doing, but the companies that I work for, they would block sites like this. They wouldn't
We
let you
already
have
do.
access to it. Yeah, at
We
all. You know
already
what I'm
we
saying?
the weird thing though is some of my bosses they got special permissions because
Yeah.
we were having a problem with problem with a product. We were using Chat GPT to debug it. I was tripping. I was like, damn, Chat GPT know that. So
Yeah.
it was doing some good things. So I think from a production standpoint, I don't think it's quite ready, but people are still using it in development and test, and they're just saying you can't put corporate
Sensitive information.
sensitive
Exactly.
information in there. But once again, people are using it for proof of concepts, trying to figure out what the future is, trying to figure out what it's good at. So
hmm Yeah, and I use it a lot, man, for like I've been developing a lot more faster and better written PowerShell scripts because I already
yeah,
use PowerShell scripts throughout the day on a daily basis just to check things or whatever. But by not putting information in it, obviously, but giving it what you're trying to do, and that's one
yeah,
thing people got to understand with Chat GPT. It ain't just, oh, I need you to write this script to do
mm,
X, Y, and Z. You gotta feed it, you know what I'm saying, what you want.
mm,
Not giving sensitive information, but you gotta explain what you're trying to do in order to get the right information out of it. It's a good tool, but if you don't explain it, if you don't um give it the context behind what you're trying to do, it's going to give you surface level information and not the in-depth information that you're looking for.
no,
It's
100% because they got that thing called prompt engineer now. Like you gotta say
Yeah.
you gotta prompt it right. The weird
Mm-hmm.
thing is we were prompting, and I didn't know it could do that. We prompted and it gave stuff out in like 1, 2, 3 bullet format.
Yeah.
And one of my colleagues said, "Can you expound on bullet 3?" And it did it. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!" I didn't
Yeah.
know it was. I didn't know it was. Like you said, you could prompt it because usually, whatever 3 was, I would kind of like rewrite that. And
Mm-hmm.
prompt it more. Now you can just say 3. I was like, "Oh my god!" I didn't know you
Yeah,
could do
it'll
that.
it'll it'll remember. Yeah, it
Yeah.
remembers. Like you can lay out the outline for something. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
just tell it, hey, can you, and then like ask it, do you understand? That's the way I've been doing it. Like I'll write something out and then I'll say, do you understand? So it can store that and then ask it questions based on the information that you gave it in order for it to
Mhm.
push out what you're looking for. So yeah.
And I think KeepItTechie didn't really know he dropped the gem. As you building your home lab, as you building in the cloud, you need to have Chat GPT next to you. You prompt, even if you know it, just double check it with Chat GPT. I'm like, okay, I'm setting up a 3-tier network. What load balancer should I use? What
Mm-hmm.
elastic? Just put in Chat GPT, see what it says. Sometimes Chat GPT will drop you a gem. You're like, well, I didn't know I could do that. Let me try that. So too, you working with your home lab in the cloud and Chat GPT, you put them together, and Chat GPT is assisting you building your infrastructure.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. And shout out to you, Stephen S. Let me see. It was I thought I seen something else. Is there a way I can set up a VM or a Linux distro on my
Ooh,
iPad? I don't
I don't
know.
know that. I don't know that
Yeah,
either.
it
That's
probably
Chat
it might
GPT.
be.
No, I'm just playing. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. It might. I'm sure you could do it on the iMac. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not sure you could do it on the iPad. You may can because they making those things like full blown computers. Those tablets nowadays is like almost full blown computers. You could hook a keyboard up to it, mouse, all that stuff. So it may have the software. You may be able to go to the Mac store or Apple store and download virtual, or go to the site and download virtual machine for Mac. It may install it. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know if
was.
it's gonna work right, but it may
Yeah.
install.
Yeah, you gotta do some research on that one,
Yeah.
JM. I've never, to be honest, I've never thought about. I don't like typing on glass. I know you can add a keyboard to it. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's a cool novel idea. I just don't see anybody doing anything practical like that,
Yeah.
JM. That would be my only slight pushback. Once again, I'm old, man. I'm trying to focus.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're gonna have to, in order to really see what you're doing, you're gonna have to have a monitor set up to it so you can
Yeah.
see the
So
virtual machine.
yeah, for you to get real world application, JM, I would say put it in the cloud or get
Mm-hmm.
some real hardware for that. As a novel idea, that's cool. I would try, but if you're trying to get real world experience or real world thing, I would put it on a box, cloud, on prem,
Mm-hmm.
like KeepItTechie said, some older hardware you got. But
Yep. Yep. And a lot of these cloud platforms, and that's why I brought this one up. Like, let me transition over here to this. But like for instance, I got this virtual machine or this what they call a nodes over there set up. This is a server, so I'm connected through the website to this server, and I don't care if you guys see this. I'll delete it after this because I don't need this one. I was setting it up for a project I was building for them, but yeah, you can open up the what they call a Lish console or a console, and I know you guys can't see that, but it'll bring up another website. So on your Mac, iPad, and actually let's switch this out so you can see it. But you can bring up the actual. Hold on, let me go back here. But you could bring up the terminal and log into it and manage it via your iPad. I'm sure you can, but it's probably not that practical. I mean, you can work on a server, but if you got a graphical interface or GUI, full blown desktop environment set up, it's not gonna work out too well for you. You know what I'm saying? That's the
yeah.
way I see it. That's But you got anything else you want to add on that? I'm sorry while I'm trying to bring this up
No,
while I
let's
get.
go. I'll grab one. Marcus B talking about using machine learning and AI in your home lab. If you go to AWS, they give you machine learning and AI labs you can do on in the cloud or on there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just pick one of those labs and just do them. Because long story short, AWS has a ton of machine learning services, reading text, doing facial recognition. It's called Reconito. You can take an image. So if you see this image, do something with this type of image, right? If this person is smiling, do this, right? So there's a ton of machine learning images in AWS. To start scripting, there's different levels of scripting. Stephen S. I would probably start with PHP. I think that's probably the biggest scripting languages that go back and forth. That's kind of universal. You can run it on Windows or Linux. From that standpoint,
Yeah, but I got it up for you, but you can see this. You should be able to see this, but and you probably can't see it PBO, but this is showing the console. And so you can open this up. It opens up in another tab in the web browser. And you can log into the server from the browser and manage the server from there. So that may help you with the iPad thing. But this is just like I said, working with a server. But working with a full blown desktop environment, in the cloud, this won't work. So that's all I wanted to show you guys or show you. Let me transition it back. All right, so let me see. It was somebody else I saw. How could someone start scripting? Um, did
I
you
just said
you just
PHP.
talk
Go
about it?
ahead.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead. You can add to it. I just said PHP. I think is ubiquitous. I mean, I started out so old in the first Linux, and I started off with PowerShell. So, but PHP is something you can do on the cloud. It can run on Linux or Windows. So that's one thing I would start if you just start scripting.
Mm-hmm.
Which
No, and I would add that also. Uh, when you're speaking of scripting languages, outside of that, what pops up in my head is PowerShell. or Bash.
Oh, fast,
So you want to
fast,
look
fast.
into those as well. That's some scripting languages you can actually look into, and that allows you to manipulate the server from the command line using scripts automation. That's the original automation. But you were
Yeah.
telling one computer to handle all these tasks based on the requirements that you set in the scripting language. So
Yeah,
yeah.
especially PowerShell. I do more Linux than Windows, but now PowerShell
Hmm.
really is the gold standard. I need to get better at that from a Windows perspective. Once again, 90% of what I do is on a Linux or Amazon 2 cloud if I'm in the cloud. So, but I got to get much better at Windows, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah, see, I'm in that Windows environment daily, and so I get the questions that pop up like, "Hey, how do I get this information?" So first thing that'll pop up in my head, like, "Man, let me see if I can script that, or see if I can pull that remotely using the script." And yeah, I'll grab the information for them quickly, but I'll start trying to develop some. So in case this question, especially if it's a question that comes up a lot or whatever, and
Mhm.
the information is not readily available for me, I'll start, figuring out a way to automate that process so I can get up to date information as people ask these questions and respond quicker. Uh,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm trying, you mentioned it earlier. What I'm trying to do is, I just been tired and burnt out is get my playbook skills up. So if somebody asks me a question or in general, I should have a playbook for that, right? So
hmm
I hear the playbook just running and it'll do what you need to do, or this playbook got 80% of what you do. You got to do the other 20%. Just get
yeah,
used to using playbooks. And I'm not quite there yet, to be honest.
yeah, and I see JM. He says, "Shout out to you, bro." He says, "Do you have any beginner home lab projects you can suggest to get more practice scripting?" What you have to? I'll let you go first, PBO.
I just been I just been doing basic 3-tier networks, putting Amazon Linux on there, putting Apache on there to spin up a website, and actually connecting it to a database inside AWS. But none of that's really kind of scripting, so I haven't
Yeah.
really focused on it. To be honest, focus on scripting. I would actually have to think about that and come up with something. So I'm gonna get that back to you. To be
Yeah, me
honest.
too. That's why I was like, let me see if PBO
I don't have
probably
one.
got something. But yeah, I would kind of say the same thing. I mean, it all depends on what you're trying to learn, bro. Like and what operating systems you plan on working with, which you never know until you get the job. You know what
Yeah.
systems are being used, as well as what cloud is being used by this
No,
company.
fuck. Yeah.
So
I
just pick something that you're
yeah.
interested in and start learning that scripting language. And also GitHub, great resource. You
Yeah.
can find people working on scripts or building out scripts, and putting them up there on the cloud. I have some scripts out there, even though they're kind of basic, but I have some scripts on my GitHub page that I
Yeah.
I was creating while learning different scripting languages.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out. You know.
That's that's my thing this summer. Get something on GitHub and kind of start building stuff and
Hmm.
doing cloud formation and building full projects. So that's kind of been
Yeah.
on kind of on my thing. It's a lot easier said than done. I
Yeah,
be
yeah,
tired sometimes. I be tired.
yeah. I know the feeling. Like, yeah. A lot of people say this, and I can't say that I've done it, but I've seen a lot of people do it. But you can go on GitHub and try to see if you can contribute to some of these projects, like
Oh,
issues that pop up. That's a great
mhm.
way of learning scripting or programming language. By just trying to see if you can, and you never know, you may improve an application where it get accepted. You know what I'm saying, and you become an official developer of that
Yeah.
whatever program that they're building or working on maintaining.
Yeah. The cool thing though is, especially if you want to do one of the bigger projects,
Hmm.
don't feel bad. They're gonna reject a lot of stuff, but what they're doing is they showing you how they want you to do it to be in their team,
Yeah.
right? They want you to do a certain format. They want you to document a certain way. They want
Hmm.
you to use these variables, these parameters. They want you to capitalize the first letter or the third letter, right? So they get you in a format because the bigger projects, a lot of people use that in production sites. So they want you to have production quality code. So you're going to be learning stuff while you trying to post stuff or get stuff accepted to their repo too. So don't feel bad if you get rejected a couple times. That you're going to be learning the way they want to do it, and how a
Hmm.
lot of times, and a lot of those guys, they be having like 100 programmers, right? So you got to work within their infrastructure and their team. But once again, that's good skill to learn.
Yeah, and one other thing, let me say this, man. I did a video the other day, last week. It was about Ubuntu Cinnamon
I saw that.
remix.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy started this project when he was 16 years old as a kid, or was it 13? I can't remember, 16 or 13 years old. Now he's going to college with a cybersecurity degree and all this stuff, but or trying to get a cybersecurity degree, got accepted and all this stuff. But he started this project when he was like in middle school, I believe, and um, he just learned this programming language. He was so interested in Linux that he started wanting to develop his own flavor of Ubuntu, and it's accepted as an official flavor of Ubuntu, Ubuntu Cinnamon, which
Wow.
uses that Cinnamon desktop. And he had the program. He learned the program, and it's just crazy. It's an inspiring story because the dude was like super young
Yeah.
and learned this stuff, and he's the lead developer of this community and application. So I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there for
No, that's
anybody
dope.
interested. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's dope, man. Because that's gonna get him known. That's gonna get him out there. And the two is,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta learn a ton of stuff to do that. So you
Yeah,
obviously you're getting better, especially if people accepting as a official flavor.
yeah,
Just the experience of, even if it's just a couple people getting a team together,
yep,
getting it, in your repo, building it, right? You got to build it, get accepted. I'm sure they got some test cases, and I'm sure they got a few PMs. So getting that whole process down is a win.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. Um, but that's all I got, man. I'm
That's cool.
shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to everybody that showed support. I definitely appreciate you, PBO, for coming on. If you guys are not subscribed to Professor Black Ops, Security for the People, you guys need to get over there. He's always putting out great information, and I'm gonna keep supporting him. He's always been supporting me, and I've always shown love to him because I love what he's doing. He's putting out great information, so I definitely want you guys to go check him out as well. You know what I'm saying? But shout out again to everybody that came through for this, and let me let you have the last words, PBO.
Just keep striving, man. Everybody's out there grinding, man. Just continue to learn, man. I'm 55, man. You got to keep learning. You got to keep relevant. Because if you get on the right train, you can make that 6 figures, man. Me and KeepItTechie gonna try to figure out how to knock out a few of these gatekeepers so y'all can get in the game, man.
Yeah.
Just keep grinding. Don't give up, man. I'm old, so y'all young. Y'all got a lifetime. Let's get it, man.
Yep.
And KeepItTechie.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, appreciate all you guys again. And just like what PBO said, man, just keep striving. If you having issues getting into the field, just keep pushing, man. Keep learning new things, adding new things to your tool belt, you know what I'm saying? And you'll be good to go, you know what I'm saying? Eventually something will happen for you and you'll be able to get this money, you know what I'm saying? And that's the whole motivation, or the whole reason behind me doing these streams, man. Is just to try to motivate you guys and give out the information that I learned that can help you guys. So again, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and of course, PBO already said it, but keep it techie. Thanks, PBO.
All right, man. Later, man.
Yeah, all right. Oh, and I just saw super chat. I appreciate you. Let's see. Textual Chatter, man. Shout out to you, bro, for coming through. I definitely appreciate it. Make sure you guys go check him out as well. Shout out to him, man. That's my brother, man. Peace.